Welcome to the newest edition of 42 Stories Anthology. Welcome, Jessica Foster, or should I say Jessica K. Foster? What do you prefer?
My pen name is Jessica K. Foster, but you can call me whatever you want.
Okay, so where are you right now?
I'm in Michigan.
Okay,
So hi from Michigan.
yeah, and hi from Japan. So, what time is it in Michigan?
Here it's about 8:43 p.m.
Okay, yeah, and it's close to 11 a.m. here, so I won't keep you too long because I bet uh, after this interview it's probably bedtime for you. Um,
Yeah.
that's why don't you tell the readers a brief bio about yourself?
Sure. So again, my name is Jessica K. Foster. I am a middle school language arts teacher from Michigan. I live here with my husband, my two sons, and like four rescue animals. I write romantic comedies in the form of young adult novels. My most recent ones that I have written are the Andy and the Extroverts and Andy and the Summer of Something duology. Most recently in this anthology of the Book of 42, right?
Oh, I got the same book right here.
Aha!
But what's interesting, there's a little connection between the book you mentioned and your story. So before I get into that, why don't you read your story, and maybe the people listening or watching can guess what that connection is.
Sure. All
Yeah.
right. So my story is called I'm Shy, but I Swear I Like You, Lily Mendez, and it's on page 237 of this anthology. And it goes, the first raindrops slap my windshield, slide down. I should spread my coat over the puddle she's about to walk through. I duck down instead. Her feet click through the water of the parking lot. She taps on the glass. Hey, Brad. And that's the story.
I really enjoyed that story. And so the connection, I thought at least, I don't know if that's intentional, is that we have shy characters both times.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So a bit of a trend between that duology and that short story. So that's kind of fun. A little gender swapped though, as the Andy and the Extroverts duology is about a girl who is shy who ends up at a leadership camp.
Yeah. I really want to read your book, by the way. I've been putting it on my list for a bit. It's just
Yeah.
like you, I'm also a teacher, so managing what 16 classes this semester, and that's at different universities. So part-time university keeps me busy.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's a lot.
But definitely going to read your book because it sounds interesting. If it's any core like if it's kind of close to your short story in the book, then I definitely do want to read it because I like your narrative. Yeah.
There's definitely like a young adult vibe, romance vibe. I would say that the book that I wrote was, or the books that I wrote, were definitely very humorous. So that would be like the added element there.
Hmm. Where's your writing space?
My house, during COVID, my husband built me an office, which is really nice. So I get to hang out in my office a lot of times. I have an easy chair there, so that's kind of nice.
Okay, that was really nice that he did that too.
Yeah, he's cool. We like him. We'll keep him.
And how about where people can find you on social media?
You can find me all over social media, actually. You can find me on TikTok, at Foster Jessica K, on Facebook at facebook.com/, Jessica K Foster author. You can find me on a website, jessicakfoster.com. You can find me, you can find my books on Amazon. You can find me on Instagram, Jessica K Foster. You can find me on Twitter/X or whatever we're calling it now at Jessica K Foster. I'm on all the things. I'm not on Reddit for some reason, but I'm on all the other things.
Okay, I'm just trying to find you on TikTok because I just started one for the anthology too. Think,
Oh yeah, perfect.
as in this week, I just started.
Well, I'll find you if you don't find me. I'm good at that. So,
Okay. Well, yeah, for some reason I'm not seeing why not. I see there's a K at the end. That's why. I
yep.
didn't know.
There's
So
just a lot of people named Jessica Foster, so I thought if I threw that middle initial in there that maybe people would be able to find me a little bit easier.
author Q&A, is that you?
I don't know, maybe.
There's
I've done a
Jessica
lot of
K.
TikToks.
Foster.
So,
Yeah, yeah, I think this is you. Yep, looks
yeah,
like same person,
probably.
same glasses. That's you.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. One of my students said that glasses kind of form your identity, and so it's good to have them. A student drew a picture of me, and the glasses are there. They said, "Yeah, this is part of your identity, the glasses." So I was
Nice.
looking for your glasses, and I go, "Yep, I found you." That my student's tactic worked. So they can teach you a lot, can't they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, what are some of your, I want to get into icebreaker questions. What are some
Sure.
of your favorite movies or shows or actors?
I don't know that I have any like specifically favorite actors, but I am a sucker for the same genre that I write, which is like that young adult romance, or like sort of fun. I grew up on like the original Disney Channel stuff, so I'm still kind of like in that optimistic vibe as an adult too. So I really love Julie and the Phantoms on Netflix. I'm sad it only got one season before it got canceled. I really love The Summer I Turned Pretty on Amazon Prime, which is from a series by Jenny Han. And I really like really old romantic movies too, like Singing in the Rain, Gidget, the Harvey Girls, like crazy old school stuff.
I want to check out the first one you mentioned. You said Julie and the Phantoms?
Yes, Julie and the Phantoms.
Okay.
It's adorable.
Sometimes when I grade, I like to play a show and just have background noise. I'll probably do that for this. But yeah, I think it's fine. Maybe on Netflix, I think I watched Cobra Kai recently. And
Oh, I like Cobra Kai too. That's good.
okay. Yeah, you like a lot of shows that I've never heard of, so I'm gonna check those out. Singing in the Rain is a classic. Did
It
you watch it
is.
recently?
Did I what?
Have you watched that recently?
Yeah, I cycle through a lot of like comfort shows. So
Yeah, I did
I
that
actually
too.
just recently watched White Christmas again, which is another like oldie but goodie because we're in that season.
Yeah, the end's really what makes that movie, and
Oh yeah.
it has this great balance that I think good storytelling should do, and yeah, I hope that writers take a note from that movie, White Christmas, about how the end goes. But that said, about writing, what got you into it?
I always really loved reading. And I had the privilege of being able to have some really amazing elementary school teachers when I was younger. And my fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Marlette, was kind of the first person who ever told me, like, hey, I think you've got a little talent in this area. And she really encouraged me. And I ended up dedicating my first book to her, that I published traditionally. And so I've just kind of, it's just a combination of a lot of things, and finally sort of finding my stride, after I had established myself in my career.
That's great that you dedicated the book. Does she know?
Yes, she knows.
Okay. Yeah, the beauty of social media too is that it's an easy way to tell somebody something if you can't find
Yeah, and I
it.
sent her a copy too,
Oh,
like
that's
here you
really
go.
nice. Oh. Well, speaking of your work, what should a reader start off with if they want to check you out? Your writing.
Um, what should they start out with? I don't know. I don't like to, I wouldn't dictate like the order that anyone checks out my work, I guess, if you want to see like college Foster who thinks that everything needs to be like hilarious and punny, you could start out with like the poetry that I got published in college, I guess. If you want a cute, really short story, you can check out the anthology. If you want to check out the novels that I write, the humor that I write, my most recent book is Andy in the Summer of Something, which is like a love triangle between camp counselors, which is kind of fun. So, I
And
mean, you could start anywhere, honestly.
I want to clarify that the title is Andy in the Summer of Something, not that you were saying Andy in the Summer of Something. That's the title for anyone.
Correct. Yeah, the title is Andy in the Summer of Something. That's the one that came out in July.
Hmm.
So.
Yeah, I was looking that up and it sounds interesting. So, by the way, I wanted to also ask about drafts. So what's the most drafts you've done?
Oh, geez. Well, I think everybody classifies drafts a little bit differently, right? Like when I think draft, I mean like full overhaul, like overhaul the whole thing in like a full revision, which I'm not sure if that's everyone's definition or not. But for me, I am working on the 16th draft of a book right now, which I still may never even attempt to publish. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to get it right. So I guess 16, since this is the book that just sort of seems to be like, I just really want it to be right. So,
Well, Jessica, I hope you never feel bad about that. Actually, you just inspired me. If you don't inspire anyone else, you did for me because I have this book I worked on for over a decade and I did 13 drafts of it, like how you're saying, an overhaul. And it's just been on a shelf since I started my master's program. Now I'm in a doctoral program. So it's just been on a shelf, 13 drafts in. And I go, I don't know when I'm going to pick this up again. But you go 16 drafts, so I could do it. Thank you.
I'm currently at 16. I haven't even touched editing really on it yet. I'm still in revision. Like it's gone from third person to first person. It's gone from dual point of view to singular point of view. It's I've cut half the book and gutted it and rewrote it from the bottom to the top multiple times, and I just need it to be right. So maybe someday.
Then you understand why the anthology took so long to put together. It was
Oh
finally
yeah.
the right
Well, that's a lot of
direction.
yeah, that's a lot of people to get together too for that anthology.
Yeah, I think there's over 1,200 people in it.
That's
It,
insane.
it was a work. It was a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for putting all of that together.
Thank you for being a part of it. I'm just glad that I didn't have to write anything in it because I would have gotten writer's block with all those stories. And I just had to write the intro really and something else. I think I put something in the craft of writing section because we needed 42 and there was only 41 judges for the chapters. So I
Gotcha.
in the 42nd one. But on writer's block, how do you overcome it? Was I didn't have to do that for the anthology, but you do when you write stories.
You know, I'm a big fan of Pam Allen, who said that reading is breathing in and writing is breathing out. And I just feel like you can't exhale unless you inhale. And so whenever I get truly like blocked, can't get past it, I read until I feel that kind of itch, like again to write. But I'll also watch like movies, I'll rest, I'll enjoy my life, I'll watch my kids in their sports, and I feel like there's a lot of merit to that whole like Stephen King, put your butt in the chair and get to work, right? But there's also wisdom in not like forcing it at the detriment of your own mental health. So I think everybody just has to kind of like find their own balance. I kind of benefit from a little bit of both at different points in time. So,
Yeah, it's great to have balance. You mentioned Stephen King, and he doesn't just do that. He blasts rock music. He ignores the entire world, and I think
oh yeah.
there's a sense of depression there that he's not really working on, but he puts into his writing. And so if you don't have that balance, you'll never get out of that. And no matter how great you are, it can be a negative thing.
Yeah, and I'm always about healthy living and healthy balances and almost everything that I can do. Because I'm trying to really just model for my sons like what does it look like to have a work life, sort of balance. So,
Yeah, that's great. What was the first work you ever wrote? Was it published?
oh man, well, I mean, like if you're talking like when we were kids kind of thing, like I guess the first story that I even recall, um, and the only reason I remember it is because it got me flagged in middle school to like a
Wow.
counselor.
Oh,
I wrote like this story about this girl who died of exposure during the Glencoe massacre in Scotland, who came back as a ghost and granted dying wishes of like Jacobites. But it was like super, super dark. And I was really into historical fiction at the time. So a vast like difference between that and what I write now, which is feel good young adult romance. So, but the first piece I ever published was a poem called Soul, which was like a it was basically like a poem that played with homonyms. And that got published in the Central Review back in the day when I was in my undergrad. So, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it took me a long time to kind of figure out like what I really wanted to write. But I just really like coming of age novels, mostly because that's what like. I teach eighth graders, so I get to kind of see that in real time, and it just feels like everything is dramatic and present and fleeting, and like what is there to hang on to at that age, and everything just feels like a big moment. And I love writing drama, and I love writing big moments, and so I'm really having a great time right now.
Yeah. I just realized how lucky middle school teachers in Japan are because they get to switch grades every year. So if a
Mm.
teacher's an eighth grade teacher, and the next year they might be a sixth grade teacher or a seventh grade teacher, they only do sixth, seventh, and eighth grade in junior high school here. And so every year they switch, and they don't have to see that over and over again. Students going, oh, they found life and they're becoming adults, and it gets depressing, but it sounds like you've made it into something beautiful that you could put in a story. So that's great that you found that balance.
Oh yeah. And I've switched grades too, maybe not quite as drastically as like teachers in Japan who are switching like every year, right?
Mm.
Um, but I've taught, 7 through 12 at
Okay.
this point. And this is actually my second year back in eighth after a like sort of decade hiatus into seventh, right? Um,
Mm.
and I just think there's something incredibly fragile and beautiful about middle and high school.
Mm. What's your favorite grade to teach? You can keep it a secret from your students.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure I can choose because I feel like every class is different. So like what might be my favorite might have just been like a class that really like jived with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
completely.
so I think it's all good. I think there are pros and cons. I think the younger they are, the more willing they are to sort of play along, but I think the older they are, the more they surprise me and make me laugh. So, you
Yeah.
know.
That seems to be true in this culture here too. The same deal. The younger people are more motivated, but the older people will really get you to think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these characters, Andy and the extroverts and Andy and the summer of a something, they're not the same Andy. Of course they are, right? So,
They are the same Andy. So that's a duology. So the first book takes you through sort of the journey of Andy as her mother signs her up for a leadership camp because she's concerned that she's isolating herself. And which she is. I mean, mom had a point. Uh, but Andy is a very like sarcastic human who had no desire to be in some rah-rah leadership camp. So she's sort of fish out of water and really struggling. And then she sort of rediscovers the ability to make friends. And at the same time, like the sort of like the playboy of camp starts to fall for her, and they end up in this tumultuous relationship. And then the second book, Andy in the Summer of Something, follows her coming back to that camp at a later year as a counselor instead of as a camper because it changed her life. And so she really wants to change the lives of people who come there as well. But then she sort of finds herself in this love triangle between the guy she brought with her, which is a boyfriend, and the guy she had fallen for at camp the previous year, like in a previous year. And it's about choosing between the guys, sure, but it's also about choosing between the person that people see and the person that she is. And there's mental health representation in the books, but I'm very careful in both books never to label what that mental health representation is because it's a little bit more like nuanced than just whatever label somebody would put on it. So,
stories about growth are really the best kind, and that's why I think almost anyone could read something like what you described. And I'm not just promoting your work. I mean, I really feel that way. That I think that stories about growth are the way to go. They're because they're creative and they also help you with self help. And so
Yeah.
that's why
Well, I
those
mean, and
are
there's a lot of like slapstick humor in both of them. There's a lot of like sarcastic humor in both of them. And I tried to sort of really be true to like that point in time for different personalities that would clash together at camp and, just bring back like the fun nostalgia of being at a summer camp for people who have been or people who always wanted to go. So
okay. Yeah, well, maybe none of the characters are like how I was as a summer camp student, where I got kicked out of the summer camp, but that's another story.
you got kicked out of summer camp? How
Yeah,
do you even do that?
I wasn't the best kid in the world. I've changed a lot.
Oh.
As my hair has gotten shorter, I've gotten more mature, put it that way. So I had really long hair and I was like danger guy, and now safe without hair.
Well, that explains it because my hair is long and I'm not mature at all. So,
That'll change it. So, can you remind everybody where they can find you on social media?
yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, my website. You could find my books on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever books are sold, really. Um, but I mean, I would probably start with the website, which is jessicakfoster.com because it's got everything linked to it.
Okay. And again, her story is in the romance chapter. It's I'm shy, but I swear I like you, Lily Mendez. And it's a good work in there. I think it fits really well and about right where it is. As people read the stories between it seems to blend in really well. So I hope they give it a read. Before I let you go, can I show you the merch store that I have instead of suddenly flipping to some random video? I'd like to get your
I
reaction.
love it. Yeah, let's look at the merch.
All right, thanks. Just gonna take a second for me to share and right in one moment. Here we go. Uh, so what I did was take the logo and also the book, and I made different designs on Redbubble. Do you know Redbubble?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay. So if you own the work, you can make anything. For example, you could make your book cover into a shirt, which is what I did here. But I also made different products like mouse pads, phone cases, and I think it's great because I mean, sure they take most of the money, but the rest of it I could give to the editors and the artists and put a little in a charity. There's like a computer case, and it's great. I actually recently bought this bag, and it's coming in the mail. What's your impression of
Nice. I think it looks wonderful. I can see that that's the cover of the anthology that just came out. So,
it?
but it looks like it's very versatile.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it for writers, their website, if they want to advertise their work. Anyway, thanks for taking a look, and that's all. Thank you for coming, and have a good night.
Th- Yes, thank you for having me.